Hello everyone and welcome today. Hope the sound goes well through here. And we're excited to tell you more about what we've been doing here at Demand over the last, let's say 6 months, how we revamped the platform, how we redesigned it, and what the future brings. So as we go along, you can ask questions later. Right now, I'm going to show you a small intro, and then from there, we're going to dive in. So let's start.
How does demand work? Well, let's jump in. Okay, so here we are on the demand platform. Let's start out by building an automation. When you start one, you give it a name and tell it where the data comes from, such as LinkedIn or other data sources. Demand offers many ways to go to market. More on those later. Last step, add touch points and let AI personalize every touch point for you, so people connect and reply. After you created your automation, you wait for the magic to happen. Next up, let's do some social selling to warm up leads in accounts you want to close. They're all neatly laid out right here. And first up, you need to copy the list of saved lead list from Sales Navigator to start your social selling campaign. But you want it 100% automated or review them before commenting. Select right here how you like it to run, and then let it crawl and see the magic happen. AI has written perfect comments. You simply click the comment, and then they get posted for each of the leads you like to monitor. Now you start commenting in public and engaging in private. Does it work? Absolutely. See, here is your first automation. How did the AI set up your connection request? Well, they're all neatly laid out right here. Incredible. You're ready to sell and connect. Now you may like to use a CRM like HubSpot, Salesforce, Pipedrive, or any other one. Demand got you covered. But what about emails? Well, we do industry first double verification. So when you see green emails, you can be assured they do not bounce. Now that you got emails to send, let Demand AI write the templates and personalize each message to the prospect through the data graph. Now you send all those emails and LinkedIn requests. What happens when somebody visits your website and ghosting you? Well, Demand can identify the people and companies visiting without the fill of form, and that is truly magic. Finally, we got dark mode if you fancy that. So go ahead and try Demand free 1 week. It's the easiest thing you haven't done yet.
So, hope you liked our little intro for today. I'm going to dive straight into it. Always nice to hear your own voice on a proper video. Put a lot of effort into the complete revamp I'm about to show you right now. So first of all, when you come to Demand, you will realize we got a new identity. We are more focused on the core than ever before. What we have been focused on from day one, when we started out in 2014, was to make the job for a salesperson easy and avoid all the hard work that it takes to do sales. And over the last year, we truly went back to the core of who Demand are, what we're doing, and what we are achieving for every single customer. And that I'm super excited to show you today. So if you head over to the website, you can get to see the video again if you just click right here. You can also learn more about the platform. Everything is neatly laid out here. You can see how automation builders work and how the data actually looks after. There's a bunch of videos that you can go in and see, customer reviews and so on and so forth. So we hope you like the new view. So as I go along here, I'm going to dive into the platform and I'm going to give you a sneak peek of how it's going to look from when you get access starting next week. So you might notice that it's a complete redesign, and I know a lot of people that love this functionality that you have dark mode or light mode. So if you work late night doing prospecting, it's a pretty neat little feature to be able to make everything black or dark, as we call it. So that is obviously something that put alive. These are my saved leads, and obviously we made it a lot easier to maneuver around with filtering. So you can easily add people to automations to list. We renamed tags to list because it made more sense, or you can export them directly. So this is a small thing. Let's dive into what is truly the most important part of the platform. It is your automations. So automations are how you're going to reach out to people And we made it easy. You can either go from scratch, or from starting next week, there will be a lot of templates from your saved leads or from a LinkedIn URL, for example, Sales Navigator URL, and so on and so forth. Again, you don't have to define when you do LinkedIn what type or where it's coming from LinkedIn. Our system will identify what starting point that will be. So we made it a lot easier for every single customer. So if you go back here, we also build in templates. It will come a lot more. These are just 4 demo ones. So for example, if I want to say invitation plus 2 messages, well, it's already designed for you. You don't have to do anything. So I can hit full screen. I can zoom in the automation builder. And if I want to change the messaging, well, it's super, super simple. So I go in here first thing, and basically you will see how the message will look on LinkedIn on the right side. You can save the message and so on and so forth. So it's super easy to work with the new builder. Here you can add an action. So for example, I want to do an auto endorse after, and then you can design the number of time, 4 days, for example. It's so easy. You don't have to put delays anymore. They already automatically come after every single step you're doing. So that's another thing we have done, put in. And again, you can do full screen mode when you're building in light or dark mode to make it a lot easier. Then you can save the workflow. Obviously, this is from a template, so I do have to fill in the missing gaps. Otherwise, I cannot actually save it. And you'll notice one thing, if I just move it around here. This is a connection request. It shows you the character limit that you have left. And on a LinkedIn message, it shows the character limit based on LinkedIn, how much you can write, which is a nice thing to know because you precisely know what's going on when you're designing something. So let me see if I managed to save all of them. Auto endorse, we need to put values. Perfect relation. Then will come to drop downs here. But again, this is for the purpose of you having to be able to go in and use the system. So lastly, we need to tell the system a search. So I'll just make a simple search here, VP of Sales, take the URL, feed into the system, 100 people, for example, 1,000 people, whatever I might want to add in, and then you can save it. So that's the principle of it. If you follow from scratch, it's again, or from a LinkedIn URL, it's really, really easy. You can tell the system when the message go out, if they should stop an email reply LinkedIn, time so and so forth. So again, super, super simple. I'm just going to put some dummy here and then hit next. Now we also made a little bit more nice once you start the automation, and you get a little thing that shows you actually start the automation, so you're aware that it's running. Also, because we start crawling at this point, we don't live crawl immediately from LinkedIn. We have to load up the server, download data very safely, and you see that it actually tells you precisely the timeline. And if you go into automations, if you refresh, you will see it came here October 18. And if it had one-to-one functions, which I'm going to dive into, or other AI, it will tell you that it's taking longer to crawl, so you know precisely what's going on. So that's really how you build automations now in the system. Of course, we can build out many use cases. Somebody commenting on a post, you can take those and actually modify them, download them and say, hey, I noticed you just published something, or you like to comment on John Doe's post about HubSpot. As I'm an avid HubSpot fan, I want to simply reach out and I have a question about HubSpot, for example. That'd be one example, right? Again, this is first coming out to customers on Monday, so there's a lot going on behind the scenes in engineering, but I do hope you like the user experience. Now, we had for a long time what we call one-to-ones. Those are the AI flows. Basically, you build an automation, tell it to use one-to-one, and use words tags with AI. So I built up one here that was social selling engage, here one-to-one. So this is a one-to-one sales automation. Here are the first 10 prospects. It shows Eric. He has some information about him. I show here, hey Eric, hope you're doing well. I came across your impressive background as in marketing analytics. Could you share some insight on the latest trends in conversion optimization? I can click here to see the follow-up message that is coming out. Here again, the AI model, it's personalizing a message for every single person. It's absolutely completely different. It's using the by persona, the about me section, and actually writing a compelling message request. Now I go through here, and if I just want to click here, it will automatically say if you want the AI model to rewrite it, I can make it more fun. I simply hit update here by AI, and you will see in a couple of seconds that it's going to change. It's going to call the demand for a second. You will see that this text is going to be replaced with a new update of it. So it's making it a little bit more fun, right? And then I say, okay, I'm going to send this one as a connection request. And then I go through, just hit send one by one. And then, within 5 minutes, you've sent 20 connection requests. You might modify them a little bit if you don't like precisely. For example, you don't want to notice, put in his name, then you just change it here and hit send, and then you go next one, and next one, next one. And that's how you start one-to-one campaigns using AI, and you connect to people in the matter of seconds. I believe we're going to remove so it doesn't mention the name, but this is getting updated every single day in the connection request, for example. So I'm just going to hit send, and now again I'm connecting to Daryl, and there's a follow-up message coming. If I design more follow-up messages, it will show right here. So that's one-to-one with AI. You'll see in the UI how fast it's loading, how easy it is to work around. If I don't want to see all the steps, I can just click right there. And then you really use the AI model to help you modify them if needed, or simply just click and hit send. So that's one-to-one with AI. Now, we talked a bit about social selling. And before we dive into social selling, I want to just give you a few pointers here. Let me just zoom out. Just give me a second. Present. There we go. So what are 6 common bad practices people are doing with the social selling? Well, one is the automating interactions. And I'm not referring to what you're going to do with demand. What I refer to with automating your interactions is quite often people that will, when somebody changes job or have an anniversary in a job, they will send this automated, hey, congrats on changing the job, or your birthday, or whatever it is, when LinkedIn make these announcements and LinkedIn suggests click this button. See, unless I truly know you when you're sending that message, I know it's automated and it's in general, sharing just company blogs without context. So somebody writes something, for example, about HubSpot and sales acceleration, and I just dump in a link from demand saying how we helping customers with HubSpot without giving any reason why I'm dropping it. Nobody's going to interact with my context. However, if I comment on it being relevant and resourceful and helpful, saying, hey, I love your insight in this post. We had similar situations, and this is how we did for customers. I actually wrote a blog post about it. I hope you'll find it interesting. More people that will read that comment, they will like it and start reading it, and they might even engage with you when you're asking a question back. So share relevant with context, not without. Don't act like a sales rep. Become an industry expert, because nobody likes to be sold to. So when you comment in public, be resourceful. Don't ask for a meeting on the spot. Nobody goes up in the Starbucks to see somebody in a suit and say, hey, I want to sell to him. Hey, John, how are you? I'm Jasper. Let's have a meeting. Let's drink coffee. Well, if you're charismatic, maybe it works, but 9 or 10 times, probably not. You're probably going to go up and say, hey, try to build rapport with that person. Hey, nice watch. I noticed you're reading this book. I actually read it. Do you mind just have a brief chat? Like now we're breaking the ice, right? The same you're going to do in social. You're going to provide value. You're going to open the door to talk to that person. Other things that might annoy people is all these working from home polls that they put on LinkedIn. You don't bring any value by just trying to get reach. So don't do that, and don't endorse people recklessly. What you should do, and this is what we're going to come into now, you should comment on industry-related content that is related to you. You should ask questions, show appreciation, be resourceful, be kind, and know your industry. That's how you create a voice, right? So let me show you kind of how you're going to do that to your prospects. So if you start out right now and go to Lead List and Sales Navigator. So if you want to do social selling, you're going to have Sales Navigator because we're going to open more profiles, and filtering in Sales Navigator that avoids to scan too many people. So we're going to go in and say, okay, I built a list called Head of Growth. So these are 24 people I really would like to reach out to and make my customer. So I created this list, and basically I took this URL, I went into demand, social selling, and then I clicked right here, create social selling. So let's call it Head of Growth. Let's say they're in UK, for example. I put in the URL. How many people do I have? 24. I just said 24. Now you will see this one here, AI automated. They actually wrote what that means. The system will automatically comment and post on your behalf without you have the option to review them prior to the comment. This means when you click this one, every 24 hours, the system will scan these 24 people. If they posted on LinkedIn, the AI model will comment on them all the time. That might work for some people. I do recommend don't turn it on, but a lot of people, they do like that because they don't want to do the effort. I do have that notion. If you have dream customers, you want to open the door, you're going to be resourceful, you're going to comment in public. What's going to happen is if you just comment constantly, you might actually not open the door. What you want to do is you want to make them aware that you exist. You want to comment resourceful, challenging, questioning, ask questions to the content. So I will leave it up and hit start social selling. Once that loads, it takes about an hour. Then every 24 hours, you'll get a list looking like this, the same way one looked like. So Remy, he posted in French. And to be honest, I have no idea what he's writing. I don't speak French, but through AI, we have a comment prepared. Great advice, starting with a customer-centric approach and addressing the specific needs and problem is key. Transforming those into potential URLs into a smart strategy that are well done. Now, let's say, I'm going to rephrase this. Let's say I actually would like to comment something different. Then we use the AI model to update it. And in about a week, we're going to change this so you can set your default type of comments. So when it runs, you can say, I want to ask questions to my lead list here. I don't want to endorse them. I don't want to do anything. I want to engage with them. I want engagement. So I'm going to ask a question to the post. So let's see how that changed based on his French post. I'm going to ask a question right now. So I'm asking the AI model to change it. So let's see what's going to happen for you. So let's go. Here we go. How do you ensure that your training program addresses the specific challenges freelancers face in finding clients and provide a clear roadmap for growth? So we're asking a question. Maybe we wanted a challenger question. So we designed this one a little bit to like challenge the post, be a little bit cocky, but not pissing them off, because that had been proven to work well in LinkedIn's algorithm instead of just being the person that clapped the hand and so on and so forth. So this is more challenging what they're doing. And that's truly one of the good ways to do it, right? So I just did comment, then it goes out. Then I have one more post left from him, and I can see them by clicking right here. So that's 2 posts. The first one is going out right now. You see it's gone now. So now there's only 1 post left here, and you see automatically the UI is removing it. Now I can go through all of them. So looking forward for the Team G's camp. It's great to see such a diverse lineup of influencers. These are more endorsing, all these by default. But you're going to be able to change it to questions and so on and so forth coming forward when you started, when you're setting up the campaign. Let me just go back to here, right? There will be another button called comment style, and then you choose one of the 3. So you follow that when it runs. That's going to come during next week. So you're going to be excited about that. So the whole point is when you create this list of people, you run it for 2 to 3 weeks, comment. Now, Karim, I comment 4 to 5 times during a month. on his post. So what's going to happen is when I roll him into an automation and say, I'm reaching out to Karim right now with AI, he knows who I am. He's ready to engage in a conversation because I engaged with his content multiple times, but not too many times. So he's aware, who is Jesper? He's this guy who is very resourceful, he's friendly, he's commenting, but the fact is maybe I'm coming in 20 to 30 people every 2 days. So I'm opening a lot of doors and I'm bridging my sales cycle right now. And during my test on social selling, I noticed one thing. A lot of the people I comment on, they start adding me. And then I already engaged in a conversation before I add them to an automation. And some of those are customers now. They love the approach we're doing right here. And there are multiple companies that have got early access to social selling and following these strategies. It is transforming how you get the attention of the buyer and get in front of them earlier in the process. And again, it's neatly laid out right here. All you have to do is to say, okay, I comment on both of them, or I just go ahead and say comment here, and then I just go through them. And that's all you need to know. You have the original post on the left side. Here, he has multiple, right? I can see the post, I can see my comment, I can change with AI if I don't like the default one. And there you go. Now I just, during this short webinar here, I comment in public on 3 people on LinkedIn. If you head over to my LinkedIn profile in a couple of seconds, you'll be able, under my activities, you can check it if you would like to. Then you can see the comments actually happened. So that's how simple we're changing the sales strategies at demand. Unified inbox, it's not live for me to show yet, but basically it's going to come in here, show all your messages. You're going to be able to handle them from here, both emails and so on and so forth. AI templates is something working on behind the scenes right now. So AI templates, it's a LinkedIn messages and email template builder. So it's going to have 2 areas. One is you can put in your company details, what you offer, your pain point, value prop, and it's going to rewrite it with AI. So you don't have to think out of the box. Now, there's going to come a function where it's going to go personal. So basically, you don't write anything about the person. We use the bio of the person, the latest social post, and put in 1 line as an icebreaker automatically. For every single person, it's going to be completely different what they're receiving in the email. That means you're no longer landing in spam folder because every email is unique. And secondly, on LinkedIn as well, you are keeping that icebreaker. So every message coming out is going to always be tailored to the buyer. So this is something we're excited about rolling out in about 1.5 to 2 weeks. That comes in when the email's coming back into this platform on the new interface. Visitor tracking also coming live very shortly. You'll be able to both see companies and people. And we're working on from the automation side when you create automation. So if it's a known person made a sequence when somebody didn't fill a form, they're not a customer yet, and we could identify who they are. There will come an option for visitors here where you can say, hey, add them on LinkedIn, send them an email, send them a LinkedIn message through AI, and it happens every time somebody has been visiting. There will in the future come some Superbuddy CRM if they exist as a customer. It can be set up a flow where you are engaging with them, for example, just to check in. There are many examples. Another thing we're working on behind the scenes is intent analysis. So when somebody replies to you on LinkedIn or email that originate from demand is going to be able to reply back. If it's a positive reply like, hey, sounds great, I want a meeting on Monday, then the system will automatically send your calendar a HubSpot meeting URL and simply just send back through an AI message. Perfect. Do you mind just find the time in my calendar here? Because that will set up the Zoom meeting or whatever it is, right? And automatically reply before you get the chance to see the reply. And if it's like a very negative objection, if I was selling demand and I wrote out, this is what demand doing X, Y, Z, and somebody write back, we fully covered in sales acceleration. See, 9 out of 10 salespeople, they will never reply back on that one. But I did go against the tide wave, and I did on purpose reply to every single person saying something like that. And I tried to challenge it as part of training the AI. And I went out and said, hey, that's fine. Obviously, I wouldn't write it precisely like that, But I say, hey, that's great. You're in the right direction. This is how demand actually stands out with the AI and personalization in every aspect and social selling. Is that something you have today? It would not take more than 15 minutes to learn about. Here is a link for the video. You know, about 50% of the one that wrote that type of objection, they end up taking a demo and a meeting, and half of those at least, they became customers. See, had I been like the 9 out of 10 salespeople, those were lost opportunities. But through intent analysis coming, we're going to be able to actually identify the intent of the objection and help you handling it automatically. That's something we're going to be super excited to launch during November, just to give you an idea of the rapid pipeline happening right now. Integrations also getting a lot easier when you integrate your CRM, for example, HubSpot, one-click integration. Now, this is coming live tomorrow. Right now is our UX, but you're going to be able to custom fields and everything, and then you launch your integration, and that's really, really simple. So you're getting some under the scenes right now, what is coming live in our 4.0 version. So I hope you're super excited, because we are, and we've just made it so much easier to build automations inside the platform. It is very, very straightforward today. And simply you just choose what action you want. It automatically load up the message builder, so you don't miss that, unless you take a template. And unless you run the AI, which we're going to ask when you start building, then you wouldn't have the AI options. But that's something that's going to be easy to understand. You save the message, you go next step. If you want something else that's 2 days, just change it. And this is how easy it is. We identify them step by step, so you know precisely what's going on. And again, if you build something bigger and complex, you can do that. And you can even, like, if you want to move them a little bit around because you like that, that's also an option. So you can play around with the UX if you want to have it a little bit more interesting. That's also an option. So it's more flexible. So let's go through here, just to make sure we cover everything here. So the next thing is, also next week we're launching for customers social inbox. It's going to be a separate subscription, but social inbox will be 100% just a LinkedIn inbox where you can download your data. You can enrich it with phone numbers, emails from your first level connections. You can tag them, like, I met these guys at a conference, so you can find them later. It's also live inbox, so you can see your chats right here. So somebody wants to sell me something, you want to send me a one-pager, I can reply in real time, like the chat on LinkedIn, being inside the inbox itself. I can also build templates. So for example, let's test that out right now. So follow up. A first name, add placeholder, done. So for example, if I have a bunch of new connections on LinkedIn, I just want to follow up with them. I go in and say here, message them. I will use the follow-up templates. I send message, they will actually go in real time. You can do up to 25 at a time. So this is not going to be the big AI model cold outreach. This is only going to be to manage existing contacts and get all those mobile numbers, private or company emails. So I know this is his mobile number, right? So whoever, what data that they're giving, you automatically get right here, and you can gonna be able to sync it to HubSpot, or just say, okay, I want all my data here to a CSV file, and just download and come right there. You just see, I don't know why I open numbers and not Excel, but anyway, see right here is all the data. Export in a second. So socialinbox.io is part of the man coming next week. That's another thing we do. We're also waiting for the last things from engineering, but it's coming a major onboarding area where you can find videos and instructions on everything in the platform. There's still some old videos right here. We are waiting for engineering to finalize it before that get migrated over. So there's coming a huge hub for learning, and there's also going to come some playbooks and strategies where you go in and actually resume and learn more as you go along. So Louis asked about outbound webhooks. We don't have outbound webhooks right now, not something we have planned. Can you get LinkedIn email from profiles? So on demand, we are focused only on the corporate email, but you're going to be able, with social inbox, for example, these are all the LinkedIn emails. So if you use those for ads, you automatically, by syncing, it's going to download that from LinkedIn. You can sync about 200 to 300 people a day due to LinkedIn's limitations. So if you have 9,000 people, it's going to take a little bit of time. But if you're interested in all the private data, then with social inbox, you're going to be able to obtain all that data. So I hope that answered Louis' question. Other than that, I think we are pretty much covered of what's going on with demand and what you're going to be able to see on Monday when you log in. So I hope you like the new experience. We definitely work really, really hard on making it easier, more intelligent, and enjoyable to work with, where you get results. So if you haven't done it yet, I truly recommend to get started with social selling and get out there and really close more deals. So I do appreciate you all showing up today, and hope you enjoyed what you got to see so far. Thank you.